Okay, so in this video we are going to be covering LiteCoin and what LiteCoin is exactly and how it differs from Bitcoin. So just like Bitcoin, LiteCoin is an online, open source, decentralized virtual currency. It was invented by Charles Lee back in 2011, who was a former Google employee. Just recently he left his job here in 2013 to go work for a startup called Coinbase. From there, I'm not exactly what he will be involved with, but I do believe in some ways it will be promotion of LiteCoin. Anyways, so the few key differences that you want to keep in mind with LiteCoin is that the total amount of LiteCoins that will ever be in circulation is about approximately 84 million, as opposed to Bitcoin's 21 million. So from there, you start to get an idea that Bitcoin will be a lot more scarce than LiteCoin. LiteCoin will still be valuable to hold, but this is where you start to have a relationship that people tend to compare it to gold and silver, whereas Bitcoin would be the gold, which is worth more, whereas silver will have it will still be a good investment, but its valuation is far less than gold's. Another major way in which LiteCoin differs from Bitcoin is the LiteCoin network itself. The network processes a block every 2.5 minutes rather than Bitcoin's 10 minutes, which they claim will significantly reduce the time to confirm transactions. Now, a lot of people don't believe that. From my own personal experiences, I do believe that LiteCoin transactions are actually a little bit quicker. And now that we've made this comparison between gold and silver, you tend to see is that if it's going to have a quicker transaction time and it's worth less than Bitcoin, what you're going to see is this may be seen as a pocket change or small purchase type of currency. What I can even think about is, spending it on your morning coffee as opposed to Bitcoin. And the most fundamental difference between Bitcoin and LiteCoin is the encryption that's used for the network. Bitcoin uses the SHA-256 algorithm. You're probably familiar with it if you have used it on your local router for your Wi-Fi password. WPA uses the SHA-256 algorithm to protect your network. LiteCoin varies as it uses the S-script or the script algorithm. So in order to understand why LiteCoin uses the S-script algorithm as opposed to the SHA-256, you have to know a little bit about mining. So when Bitcoin first started off, everybody was mining on their CPUs. And as time went on, it became more and more difficult to process these transactions or generate new blocks for the network. And their CPUs just weren't able to produce it quick enough for the network's needs. Eventually, somebody actually discovered that they were able to use their GPUs or their video cards, graphics processing unit, to actually do these calculations for the Bitcoin network. These GPUs could actually do the calculations hundreds of times faster than what the average CPU could do. As time went on, graphics cards started to become obsoleted, and there was new chips that were specifically designed for mining Bitcoin. These chips are doing it on a fraction of the power that regular GPUs were doing it, as opposed to the fraction of powers that GPUs were able to do it on top of CPUs. So eventually what most of these miners realized is that they would soon be losing out to large investors and these new chips that were coming out that would beat them in power. So enter Charles Lee. Charles essentially set up LiteCoin to work off the S-script algorithm for the fact that these new chips would not actually be able to mine LiteCoin. And so far that's actually worked very well. In just 2 years, LiteCoin has actually risen from fractions of a penny to over $5 this year, and now probably hovering around the $2.50 mark. If you're looking to get up and running with LiteCoin, I'd suggest you check out litecoin.org. I'll put the link down below.